But okay, hi guys. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jackie Ireland. I'm the community relations and event marketing specialist for the Better Business Bureau. So today's presentation is pretty much just going to be a little overview of what resources we offer, what the Better Business Bureau really does nowadays, because most people honestly don't quite know. So a little bit of education, a little bit of resourcing, and just a little bit of background on BBB. And if at any point anybody has any questions throughout, please feel free to let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we can get started. All right. Is everybody able to see this? Hopefully, yes.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Just want to make sure. So, quick, fast facts about BBB. We are actually a nonprofit. We are a 501c6, which pretty much means that our purpose is really for the greater business good. So, we're focused on better business practices and business interests. So, some people are a little thrown off when we tell them we are a nonprofit, but it's different from a 501c3, which is usually what you think of when you think of a nonprofit. Those are the charitable organizations. But we've been around for 112 years, so pretty old. And in 2023, we had 218 million people turn to the BBB for their business profiles, which I'll get into. If you have a business and you don't have one set up with us, it's free, and I'll get into kind of how to do that because it's great. And within our database, we have 390,000 local accredited businesses. Our area serves Eastern Mass, so that's literally all the way up to the North Shore, down to the tip of the Cape. And our office is located in Marlborough, so anything east side of Marlborough is our territory. But basically, the BBB's mission is to really help consumers identify trustworthy businesses and help them establish marketplace trust. And the reason and how that's done is through our list of standards. And our standards are pretty much made to not only have lawful business practices, so making sure the bare basics of a business having the right licensing and all of that, but also to make sure they're ethical with their advertising, their selling, and their customer experiences. So that's really what it comes down to. And there is a thought that the BBB is a pay to play. So most people think that if you pay the money for the accreditation, you can just have that logo and the accreditation, but you do have to apply and you do have to fall into that standard. So, for example, if you are like a contractor and you apply with us and you don't have the right licensing, you will be denied. So we really take that seriously, and it comes down to a lot of those lawful business practices and ethics. And you must continually meet these standards. So it's not just a one time thing. You get your license and you're good to go. We constantly are checking and rechecking every year. So you have to continue to meet those standards as well. And like I said, not all businesses will qualify for a BBB accreditation. We receive a ton of applications, but a lot of them are turned down because of either unlawful business practices, they don't have the right licensing, all of that stuff. So it is taken very seriously. Those lists of standards are pretty lengthy, but this is kind of what they encompass. So there's 8 of them, and it's really just focused on building trust, honesty, telling the truth. That's really where it was derived from, is when it was created 112 years ago. It was built in advertising. So it was focused on making sure these businesses that are advertising were doing it truthfully, which is obviously very important nowadays with everything, especially with scams and different things like that. So it's really focused in on staying safe when you're shopping and also staying safe as a business owner, making sure you're really diving into those ethics practices. And that's the cool part about us as well, which again, I'll get into. We work 50% with consumers, 50% with business owners. So we're really focused on both sides and creating that standard of trust in the marketplace. So for buyers, sellers, business owners, consumers, because each of us kind of fall into both categories, even if you don't have your own business necessarily. You're still shopping, you're still making buying decisions, especially if you are if you own a home and you're looking for a roofer, you're investing a lot of money, you want to make sure that the business and the person that you're investing to is trustworthy, responsible, ethical, all of those good things. So, like I mentioned, we have what's called a free business profile. So, what that means is if I can click on this link here, I will show you guys. So this is what a free business profile looks like. So this company, St. Germain Construction out of Southeaston, has a business profile with us. But if you notice on the top left corner here, they're not accredited with us. So it's two different things. So building a profile and creating a profile is super simple. You pretty much just put in the bare bone basics of your company. And what it does is it puts you into our database. And since we've been around for so long and we've had this established, it also helps build up your SEO when you are Google searched. So when a consumer goes and Googles St. Germain Construction, they're not only coming up quicker within Google because they're on our site and the amount of traffic that we get here, but they can also go ahead and actually click on here and get your contact information at a one-stop shop. Super simple, and it's verified knowing that the actual business owner put this information in. And so it's nice. Usually, some other companies will have a little more information here, directing their contact information. You can also see the years they're in business. If this company did have complaints, that would be here, but they don't have any complaints. And they still receive a rating, but they are not accredited. And that is basically because it is standard. This company doesn't have any complaints with us. So they just have that, but it is also highlighted that it is not an accredited business. So it's two separate things. But it's just great to do um, when you do have your own business to just put that in because it's free. You can do it anytime and you're able to increase your visibility. So you're more likely to appear in the search results when consumers seek products or your services in your industry. And like I said, it increases your visibility, website traffic, and ultimately leads to more business. And we have some interesting facts and data to back that up on our website as well. It also has improved credibility because you are committed to that transparency and accountability, like I mentioned before. So it's really about helping you build that trust and improving that credibility. So, in terms of resources, we have quite a few resources. And there is, again, a little bit of confusion sometimes as to whether or not you have to be accredited with us or a member to take advantage of those resources. You do not. There are many, many free resources that we offer. And really, the goal of those resources and tools are to help you manage and improve your business. So, for example, you can use your profile to respond to customer reviews, update your contact information, showcase any certifications, awards that your business has received. So, that's just great to just display on your business profile. But we also do things like webinars, lots and lots of learning within each of the tailored industries. So, you can go into our industry hub and it will show you exactly the different areas of learning material that we offer. A lot of it is either video or written material, which again, I'll get into in a little bit. But it really is helpful for people who want to take their own time and just kind of take it slow and look through all of the resources themselves rather than having to sign up for a class or go somewhere in person. It's all kind of just accessible to you right then and there. And like I said, we offer a competitive advantage by providing that detailed information about your products and your services. You can help consumers make more informed decisions about doing business with you. I know for me, before I really knew what the BBB did, I would honestly sometimes have to Google a certain website or a certain business and I would have to type in something like real or fake. Is this a real place? Because, like I mentioned before, the online scamming industry is increasing and increasing, and it's getting harder and harder to depict what's real and what's not. So, having that profile and having that detailed information about your business on our website really just makes sure that you are legitimate and that consumers can make those informed decisions as well. So, in more of those benefits and resources on the consumer side, which again, all of us fall into that consumer as shoppers, you can file a complaint. So, this is kind of how our complaint system works. And really, what happens is if you are an accredited business, you must respond. If you are not an accredited business, it's voluntary. 9 out of 10 times, even if you're not accredited, like that business profile I just pulled up, they will still want to reply because it's showing up on their profile anyways. And so, really, what ends up happening is as the BBB, we're almost that middle ground. So, a consumer is filing a complaint to us, and we will reach out directly to the business and we'll ask for their information, their receipts of whatever the issue may be, their side of the story. And we pretty much take two and two and we find what kind of went wrong. And it's a quite a lengthy process depending on the situation. Everything is so individualized. But most good businesses are BBB accredited, and many other good businesses are not accredited. Like I said, you don't have to be accredited with us. But we are committed to dealing fairly and even handedly with all businesses the way we handle, close, and report customer complaints. So if you are an accredited business, that business has 14 days to respond. 9 out of 10 times, again, it's usually done much faster than 14 days, but that is the maximum amount of time they are able to respond before the consumer automatically kind of takes that upper hand. So, in terms of timeline, what happens first is the complaint is filed. So it comes to us. BBB works to get the complaint processed within 2 business days. So we try to make it super quick. And then the business, again, is asked to respond within 14 calendar days from the date that you filed the complaint. If a response is not received, you then receive a follow up letter to the business. And the consumer also is notified the entire way of whether or not the business responded when BBB receives it. And we also let them know they'll be asked to respond again as well. So, as much as it seems like this is a really drawn out process, it usually all happens within those 2 weeks, and it's usually all completely filled and finished and closed within 30 days. So, again, each of the situations are super unique depending on the business, depending on the situation, but most of them are closed within that 30 days, which is really helpful too if you ever do run into a situation or you lose money or you get scammed, whatever it is. Being able to have somewhere to directly report it to does offer you a little sense of security, or at least just the ability to put your matters somewhere, because a lot of the time people who are scammed, or if something does happen, they think they don't have the time. They don't have the time to come to a solution or to reach out to the business directly, or maybe the business isn't even responding to them, or vice versa. The business owner has been trying to get to the consumer and they're not answering. So it's nice that you can kind of rely on the fact that everything will be done and closed within a month. And businesses can also dispute the claim. A lot of the time, this also is very true as well. And the way that we do that is through, again, a process. There's 4 different steps that kind of add. And the first is that BBB staff will gather information from both the business and the consumer, encourage the parties to communicate. That's kind of where we start to get to the resolution of the dispute. And then it's really just kind of increased from there. So if nothing comes from that, then we'll get a professionally trained mediator, and the BBB will talk to both parties to reach a hopeful dispute resolution. Again, if that still isn't there, we have other processes where a professionally trained hearing from the BBB will be recommended, and there'll be a non binding dispute resolution. Again, if that's not it, we still also have a professionally trained arbiter that will recommend a dispute resolution that is binding for both parties. So it also takes away the fact that you don't necessarily have to jump to taking a person to court or a business to court or whatever it may be. You do have this option as well. It can lead to that, it can escalate to that, but at least you know that this is a potential possibility as well. So, like I mentioned, we do have a membership. So, we do have accreditation and membership are the same. Accreditation just verifies that, again, you do follow into those ethical practices and those standards, like I mentioned. And then you can also take advantage of the membership. So, in terms of the membership, there is a lengthy list, which I will show you guys, of the different membership options and the benefits that we include. So each of them start with, again, the starter package. It's usually by employee count, so that's $21 a month, and it goes up from there. And we're also now expanding into a little bit of the mid-sized business as well versus just small businesses. So that's really exciting. But those benefits, like I mentioned, let me just double check. Here we go. They're on this slide. It's a little bit of everything, and it's really tailored to what your business needs and what you're looking for. So, for a lot of the businesses that we work with, they are so busy running their business, they simply don't have time to do the small things that they need to be doing, or they're in the very beginning stages of building their business and they don't have the funds to necessarily hire a social media management team or SEO optimization team, whatever it may be. So we're able to take on that and do that ourselves. We have a huge industry of professionals that work directly for us that do this for the small business owners. So, for example, like I mentioned before, if we're talking about that construction company, they are so busy on each of their jobs that they don't have time to build a website. They don't have time to build a social media account. They don't have time to do email marketing. We'll take that on for them. And that's included in that membership. So, for that type of benefit package, it would be through the BBB Plus or the BBB Max. Each of them offer more individualized benefits, which kind of makes sense because the starter is really just the bare bones of the accreditation, the logo, the seal of approval, the credibility, all of that. And then as you add and kind of, up your membership, you're able to take advantage of more of these benefits. But it's really nice. Like I said, it's a one stop shop. So you are able to take advantage of all of these within your membership. Another really cool one that we've been doing is the behind the business. So we'll come in, our team, we have a multimedia content creation team. We come into your business and we pretty much sit down with you and create this beautiful professional film and video that highlights you and your business. We start from talking about how you got to where you are, what like inspired you to start your business. We do a tour, and it's really, really awesome. And that's free, included into your membership. Um, we'll display it on our social media accounts, our websites. We're able to put that kind of everywhere that really will help you as well. And then we also do things like graphic design, licensing. If you want to create an online store, we have a few business owners that went from like brick and mortar stores to just primarily online, and they really needed help making that switch. So we're able to do that for them as well. Also, very basic things such as business cards, any marketing material, and like I said, to SEO optimization. Lots of on demand learning, certificates, continuing education credits. That's huge. For certain industries, you really need those continuing education credits. So we can get them for you directly here, or we'll direct you where to go. So, again, there's lots and lots of benefit examples. This is just a small list. But again, it's really tailored to you and what your business may need. This is separate from the free resources that we offer, like I mentioned in the beginning. We do, again, still have the online learning. We have a lot of just written resources available on our website for free. This is separate. This is strictly for our membership benefits. So it gets you a little bit more. And that's really what kind of happens when you do have that membership ability. Another part of what we do, which is unfortunately quite large right now, is our scams and fraud section. So we have what's called a scam tracker. And basically, you can put in your zip code right into our scam tracker. It's free, and you're notified immediately of any scams and fraud that are going on in your area. And I know this stat says 2022, that is outdated. The FDA and FBI did put out their 2023 stats, and like we all assumed, that number lost actually increased by quite a bit. And that question there says, what age group is the most vulnerable to scams? Which I would assume most of you probably think it is the older generation, it's the elderly, those are the most targeted. However, that is not true. In 2023, the most targeted age group was between the ages of 18 to 29 years old. So it's something, scams themselves are something that is not going to go anywhere. And what we really have to do is work on how we can combat them more by staying protected and being proactive about scams. So making sure you're aware of the scams going on in your area. There's lots and lots you can do to be proactive as a business owner. Making sure you're paying attention to things like phishing emails, which have been nonstop lately, protecting your personal finances as well. But you can always, again, use us as a place to report any scams that are going on. And the report is shared with federal, state, and provincial agencies and law enforcement to help shut down the scammers. It is very difficult right now to fully track down these scammers. The reason being is that a lot of them are coming from outside of the country. So it's kind of strictly out of our jurisdiction, as well as things like emails or phone numbers are bouncing around to different countries. So it's really hard to kind of keep track of all of that. But the way that they're doing it is to offer spaces like this to report them, and then the federal and state agencies can hop in and really try to track them down. And also in terms of scams and fraud as well, we do education strictly on that. So we do go to a lot of businesses, we work with banks, we go to schools, we do go to like assisted living or nursing home facilities. All of this is free, and that's through our Speakers Bureau. So that's a free educational seminar educating on the latest scams, fraud, how to protect yourself, your business, and be proactive. And so we'll walk through every single area of the most targeted scams right now. And we'll kind of go through how to protect yourself. And that kind of looks like something, for example, if we're talking about phone scams, most people usually get super annoyed by a scammer and they kind of want to either play back or they answer them and then they hang up. And something that we talk about in that seminar is that the best thing you can do is to actually not answer at all. You want to immediately hit decline. Something really nice that's been happening is there is a little bit more of a filter between the phone numbers. So now it might say potential scam or potential spam when somebody calls. But the reason why you do not want to answer and you want to hit decline immediately is because what happens when you do answer is you are immediately moved into a new list of active callers. And that scammer then sends it to and sells it to an entire different industry of scammers. So again, when you do even pick up for a hot second on that scam call, you are then added to another list of quote unquote active callers because you did answer. And then that list is sent over. And so you might start receiving more and more of those scam calls. So we talk a lot about things like that and how to stay protected financially, and everything else in between. So that's a really cool program that we offer too. We also offer something really awesome with young adults. So we focus on things like auto resources, home resources, education resources, different job scams, how to start your own business, which I believe I'm going to get into next. And this is really cool for anybody, really, any young adults who just want to learn more. I know for me personally, a lot of the things that I've checked out through our bbb.org website, I simply didn't know. They don't teach you these things in school. They don't teach you how to acquire proper auto insurance, auto repairs, renting a car. So it's really great to have that knowledge. And if you know anybody who can really take advantage of that knowledge, kids, friends, grandkids, whatever it may be, it's great to share this information because it's all free educational material and resourcing to just learn a little bit more. And same with home resources. You can check if a Massachusetts contractor is properly licensed in the state. This is huge. A lot of the scams that we get that come in usually, or some of the time, have to do with a contractor because it usually is a sole individual that is kind of on their own doing their own thing. But you really, really want to make sure they have their proper licensing in the state and they're good to go, because that's where a lot of problems can fall when they don't have that licensing. And you can also check on real estate agents, home inspectors, home investors, mortgage lenders, contracting, all of those good things. And then it goes into education resources, talking about college loans, college grants, job scams. I was just at a job fair over in Northeastern, and one of the students, we were there as a resource, and one of the students had told me that they had been applying to a ton of jobs and she was scammed. One of the jobs she really wanted that was primarily online in her industry had immediately asked her for her social security. And obviously, probably to us, that seems like, why would you give them that? But so from a 17-year-old's point of view, who's super excited about getting their job and they're applying and they think that that's something that they need to provide their employer, it's super easy to, get scammed in that way. So staying protected in situations like that, anybody can be a victim of a job scam, especially when a lot of the jobs right now are tailored to being primarily remote. You don't necessarily know what that means or where it's coming from. So you want to make sure, again, you're staying safe in that department as well. And then starting your own business. This is for entrepreneurs. This is great. Anybody who's interested in doing a startup, this is where we have a lot of that written material available as well in our resourcing. And this is probably one of my favorite parts. So this is kind of what it looks like on our website. If you are actually on the website, what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to click right here or wherever you want, and you'll open up this huge educational article that talks about all of these different things. So it's really the beginning practices of the logistics of starting a business, because most people are going to Google how do I start my own business, and you're going to get a lot of different information, and it's kind of hard to differentiate it all. So this is a one-stop shop. You're able to use us, and like I said, we work closely with the FTC and a lot of all of those things as well, so you're able to get a lot of verified information. But it's super basic. So even just talking about the type of business that you want to create, what's the difference between an LLC, an S corp, a sole proprietorship. It measures out your startup costs. It will project that for you. Talk about how to get your funding, where to get your funding from, different areas that offer grants, loans, what to look for when you're looking at things like that. And then also, there's tons of market research, competitor analysis, whole area on taxes, insurance policies, how to write a business plan. We have a business plan area where you can go ahead and review other business plans and a mock business plan and kind of help you there as well. So there's a lot of really great information for startups, small businesses. And what it does is it will show you, this is within the 0 to 6 month area. If not, this is before even that. This is really like the beginning baby stages of thinking about starting a business. And on our website, we'll go from this to year 6 months, and then we'll go to year one, year two, and we'll walk you through more and more information depending on how old your company is. So that's great because the information will guide you with the age of your business to kind of help as well. And this is also a really cool example of something that we have done in the past. We actually worked with Berkeley Beer Company and the Massachusetts Business Network, and we did a headshots and handshakes event. So this is a place where you can come and meet new connections, grow your network, and we also do headshots. So we've been coming into small businesses or in areas like a networking event like this, and we've been doing headshots with our content creation team. Again, all for free. So if any of you guys own a business or have an area where you're like, I think, my team would really benefit from getting new headshots, or I want to do a networking event, we can partner with you. And like I said, it's free. It's a resource that we offer. And it's really awesome. It's really fun. And it's just great to be able to offer something like that for free for small business owners. And I believe that is the end of our presentation here. So if anybody has any questions, I would love to answer them. And otherwise, thank you guys. Oh, I have some chats here. Let me double. In the event that you can't come to a resolution with the consumer, does it impact your BBB membership status? This is a great question. So I'll start with that before I jump into that next one. Super great question. It's kind of depends on the situation. What usually happens is if you do come to a resolution with a consumer, you do right by that consumer. Even if you made a mistake and you did right by them, you do not lose your rating. And the reason is because it's built on integrity and honesty. You're coming forward, you made a mistake, you did right by the consumer, you're not going to lose your rating. You start losing your rating, or you will completely lose your rating and your accreditation status if you don't respond, if you don't do the right thing, you don't act with integrity, you don't act with ethical practices. That's when you lose your rating. So that's a really, really great question. And then lastly, for the BBB membership regarding social media management, can they use branding materials that your business currently has and help you with social media content? Yes. So it's a little mixed. Again, it's very individual. In terms of the branding material, it will have our branding logo on your material as well. So like the business cards of somebody who is, or any marketing material of a company, it will have their company logo, everything that they want to design, and it will say, or somewhere on there, somewhere BBB, just the logo itself, or accredited business. So that way also, when you're using those cards, when you're using that business and branding material, people do know that you are accredited with us, which is great. But like I said, we make all of those for you. So that's really nice. Um, and in terms of social media management, like I said too, it's really tailored to you. So if you're somebody who, wants more part in the social media realm and you want to, create your content yourself, but you just need a little bit of help, we can do that. If you literally need somebody to create all of your content, we can do that as well. So it's really tailored to what you need and what your business needs and what feels best for you. Um, but it's just a nice kind of for the business owner that doesn't have the time and just really needs somebody to take that off their plate. It's a nice little area to do that at an affordable cost because if I'm assuming many of you know that social media management and social media in general is a very costly industry right now. So instead of paying those thousands of dollars a month, you can get it done by us. So it's nice that we offer that. But yeah, really, really great questions. If anybody else has any questions, please let me know. Yeah, social media is very tricky and it's changing a lot too. So trying to keep up with obviously the trends, but also, what's working, what's getting visibility is very, very difficult. And I do think from a personal standpoint and just what I've seen with business owners, social media is such a necessity now. So many people are shopping on social media. That's the first thing they're really consuming. I know for me, I'm getting a lot of my information through social media in terms of businesses. Like if I want to go to a restaurant or I'm looking for a hairstylist, my first search is through social media and kind of looking at their page and who they've worked with, which is great because it does kind of offer a little bit of the review area because you can see what they look like, what they're doing, versus just reading written reviews. If you look somewhere like Yelp or Google reviews, I think social media really is the place to be in terms of small business and being able to see stuff like that. But it's a lot to navigate for sure. Yeah, let me know if anybody else has any other questions. Like I said, if any of you guys are ever interested in the headshots, creating events, anything like that in between, you want to do a speakers bureau, talk about scams and fraud, we're always available. If you know anybody that could take advantage or benefit from that, we are here to support. And I definitely recommend going and checking out all of those resources on bbb.org. There's a multitude of sections, but you'll pretty much just click business resources and it will be all of there for you. Or if you want to check out the consumer one, same thing. You just click consumer resources and they will pop right up for you. Otherwise, if nobody else has any questions, that's all we got today. So thank you guys so much for listening. And this was awesome. And I hope everybody gets outside today and gets to enjoy the nice weather. It is beautiful out, finally. Thank God. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Have a good day.
Of course. Bye, everyone.
Bye.